Okay, so I'm all set up here to talk about take back control of your time. So, again, I hope everybody had a great weekend, a happy Monday, and going to jump right into the midday expansion. I wanted to take it again from the book The Legacy Builder. One of the insights has to do with controlling your time. So take back control of your time, and I would like to share 6 strategies. So that's why I'm going to jump right into it, get to these strategies today, and like, share, comment. And of course, if you catch this on the replay, hashtag replay, and you can always comment there, and I'll definitely jump in and communicate with you. So let me ask you this: how important is it for you to control your time? And how often do you find yourself spread too thin? I know it happens quite often with myself because I always say that I work better under pressure, and that may not be good. However, I this is something that I've done over the years, and I'm able to juggle multiple tasks at once. And I understand everyone's not able to do the same thing, and I found through the years and working with different people and having the responsibility for direct reports, sometimes the expectations from myself to my team, I had to adjust my thinking as far as my skill level and the level of stress that I'm able to take on. Everyone else isn't able to do the same thing. So I got to thinking and I said, how can I better help someone else control their time? So, it can you can just become spread too thin without knowing it. You start a project and you get distracted either by coworkers, phone, email, text messages, different things just pull you from your focus. And at times, those interruptions, they make you completely shift your gear from what you're supposed to be doing, and then you lose track of your main project, and before you know it, you've moved on to, like I said, juggling multiple different projects. Although you may be able to juggle them, it does add a factor of stress in when you're trying to answer everyone on top of doing what you're supposed to be doing. It gets pretty difficult, and it's just truly important to put things in order. So being able to manage your time well is an important skill, especially for service providers to master. One huge bit of advice that I give to everyone is to take small bites, take little small chunks of your task and complete those, and then group them together. Um, it helps to get through a project quicker and easier when you take small bites. And as you finish each small task, you get closer to completing the bigger task. So you can check it off as you go along, mark your progression, and you start to feel more confident in knowing that you covered all of your bases when you have smaller chunks that gets you to that larger project, the completion of the larger project. So I want to offer 6 strategies that are key to just helping you manage your time. So, priority number 1 is prioritize your time. Prioritize your task. The importance of prioritization is key in managing your time. You must understand the core objectives that must be accomplished before moving to the next step. So basically, some people start with the end in mind. You hear that sometimes, which is a good technique, but still you must prioritize effectively if you're going to start with the end in mind. So be certain to break out the task. I would always suggest, the high, the medium, and the low value tasks that you have to complete. And it takes on I would always say take on the biggest first. I heard this phrase some time ago about swallow the frog, and that it has to do with taking on the biggest, most challenging task first and knocking that out. That makes things a little easier. Most time, the biggest task will take more time and require more attention. So it's good to knock that out first. Also, while you're prioritizing, it is a good practice to allot adequate time to properly focus on each task. Let me just make sure that I shared this. 1 second, I just got a little alert here. Okay, good, good, good. I'm all shared. So, yeah, you must make sure that you prioritize and make it a good practice to allot some time to properly focus on each task. So, you must become clear on your objective and decide on a timeline. Once you map out the objective and prioritize each task, I would say just decide on how much time you will need to complete each task. That's also important that you map out your time. This will help you to stay on schedule. So it won't hurt to eliminate distractions like your cell phone and social media while you're focusing. So, priority number two is to create a to do list. So I'm big on to-do lists. I've been doing to-do lists forever, as long as I can remember. I've had either a planner or post-it notes, then computer. I would put things into my computer, but I always have a to-do list. There's a saying that goes, "If you fail to plan, you plan to fail." And it's so true because, it rings true each time you do not properly plan. So the importance of planning your day is vital to feel accomplished. Having a list of items that you need to complete keeps you on track. And as you complete these tasks, you can cross them off your list. Being able to free up time and relax and move on to the next item on your list, just allows you to regroup. So being mindful of your to-do list and just referencing it throughout the day is a must. When you create that to-do list, you make that a priority to look at your to-do list to make sure that you're checking the things off that are important for the day. And then I would also have to say technology helps tremendously and allows you to automate reminders. So I would always say to a friend of mine who has a business, this was about a year ago, he would miss appointments and miss important things or not do things that he was supposed to do during the day. And I'm like, there's no reason for you as a business owner to let certain things fall by the wayside, especially when there's technology. So there's no reason why you can't set a reminder in your phone to remind you of what's important. Another saying is people make what's important to you is not always important to someone else, but people make time for things that are important. And when you're a business owner, when it comes to your business, you really must, if you're not a good person that's going to remember things, and if you're going to forget to look at a list that you may have written down, set reminders in your phone. So also another good piece of technology to use, if you use Outlook, your Outlook calendar, you can set reminders there for specific dates and times. You can even do that with your Google Calendar. I've just recently, over the past year, started utilizing my Google Calendar much more. But I also, again, really stress, since everyone is on their phones, definitely utilize the reminder application in your phone. Yeah. And again, my planner, I absolutely love my planner. I have calendar. Those two are my go-to. So pick a method that works for you and just make sure you're using one of those to create your to-do list and reference it throughout the day. Um, so, and then another quick tip, I would say, look at your week to week and your day to day list. Um, a week or Either a week prior to doing the task, if you're using a week to week to do list, and if you're using a day to day to do list, look at your task the day before. So the quick rule of thumb that I use is, before the day closes, look at tomorrow to see what you have lined up and just make sure you're preparing your mind to get through those tasks. That helps you gauge whether or not you need to update your list. But don't wait until the week of or the day of to check on the activities that you need to be doing. Just review those the day before or the week before. All right, so strategy number 3 is stop procrastinating. So procrastination is the mother of all evils, right? And the only cure is to create positive habits. That's the only cure. So you procrastinate because you don't know where to start sometimes, or because you just don't want to tackle a hard task. But get over it. Do it. Do it scared. Just move on. So deal directly with what is causing you to shut down. Face it, look it in the eyes, and get over it. Is it a size? Is it the size of the task that's causing you to procrastinate? The details that's required to complete the task, or maybe you may not be as knowledgeable in how to get something done, or unrealistic expectations either that you set up for yourself or someone else has of you, and not enough time in a day. That just has to all do with how you prioritize your task. So all of these are reasons, but you can overcome each of those with the right strategy. So stop procrastinating. You have already learned 2 strategies to manage your time better. So prioritize your task and create a to-do list, and then you can get over the procrastination. If you have already prioritized and created a to-do list, you're halfway there. You know, if you have a comprehensive list that is broken down into bite size, again, that whole, small, take on a small piece of it. If you have it broken down and they are ordered from, most important to least important, then you have no reason to procrastinate. You've set yourself up to win. So you just need to move into the doing phase. One of the things also that I always say is just do it. JDI. I use those abbreviations because it also stems from my background in Lean and Six Sigma. That's actually one of the strategies is to fix a problem is to just do it, just dive right in and fix it. And you usually do that with low hanging fruits, with things that you can just fix quickly. So, a tip that I like to share for stop procrastinating is it won't hurt to call on some help, delegate. So, one of the things that I said is maybe you may lack the knowledge in completing a task. That's when you have to, let your ego down or your pride and ask for help. Delegate. At this point, you should know what task will what each task will involve and have a realistic time frame to complete it. So the one thing that causes failure when you struggle is not knowing when you need help. So I have to say, it's okay to ask. I always tell people if they ask me something, if I don't have the answer, I'll find out for you. I have no problem saying that. And everyone, don't try to guess at the answer. Don't try to, impress someone by answering completely wrong. If you don't know something, just say, give me some time. I'll get back to you. It is wise to delegate assignments. It is wise to let people know, I'll get back to you on that once I get the answer. This will allow you time to focus on the most challenging task. All right, I'm just checking time here. Okay, we're good on time. So the next strategy is strategy 4. Schedule your day and minimize interruptions. And one that is hard for people to do is to say no. So, yes, I get it. You cannot control people walking up to you with questions or coming over to socialize. You can't control your phone, phone calls or text messages. I get it. You can control You can't control any of that. I get it. But I also believe you can. So you can control people walking up to you, say if you're at work, you can just stick something up, letting them know that you're really focusing on a project, a little sign, or when they come up, you're gonna have to jump in and say I'm in the middle of something, but you really can control all of that, all of those quote unquote distractions. So how? So yeah, post it if you're at a work in a cubicle. If you're at home, a lot of people are working from home now, and some people have their families in the home with them while they're working. So you just have to make sure people respect your time. Block out times either on your Outlook calendar, or if you share a company calendar, to let people know exactly when you're busy. So if you have a door at work, or if you have an office space at home, close the door. Although, I like to keep an open door policy as, a manager. And through the years, my team, I always let them know, even if I'm behind closed doors, you can always come in. But you still control your time. So if people walk up and invade your time and space, let them know that you would love to help them. However, you are working on something that needs your attention. Let them know that you'll get back to them, and you'll send them an email. That way you can prioritize it. There's always ways to say things without coming off rude. So you just have to find that language. It's also okay to say that um, it's okay. Sometimes people get a little uncomfortable telling their superiors that they're busy too. So again, if you're in a work environment, it's okay to tell your superior, let me get back to you. If you're working on something, you may want to be more specific by letting them know that you're working on something and there's a timeline. That way, you are being transparent and giving them insight into your schedule. So sometimes, supervisors or managers overlook how much they already put on your plate, but it doesn't hurt to remind them that they can, sometimes be a little more understanding. Remind them that they can determine whether or not you're using your time wisely by how much work they give you. Something's trying to go in my eye. Okay, so strategy number 5 is SMART goals. So some of you, I'm sure, are aware of SMART. It's an acronym, meaning specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and a time frame. So SMART goals, every professional, heard may have heard of SMART goals. So basically, the S is for specific. Be specific with your time management. So, in regards to controlling your time, you have to be specific with how you manage your time. Don't just say, I want to close a deal in 10 months. Set a goal of calling 10 to 20 people daily. If you have a goal to close 10 deals, a month. You may have to actually make more calls than 10 to 20. But you have to be specific about your time frame. That gives you a measurable and achievable goal towards accomplishing that 10 deals a month. You have to be realistic. So when you set a goal, be realistic. So making, say, $10,000 a month in your new business might not be realistic unless you have a high-end demand item, that you can sell to people. Being consistent and setting a goal is important, and it helps to reduce stress and allows you to manage your time better. So just make sure you're being realistic about the goals that you set. But also having a time frame produces an end game, and it also gives you clarity. So with every SMART goal setting, you must be clear so that you can achieve that goal, that objective. So, yeah, having SMART goals is very important when you're controlling your time and being more productive. All right. So, strategy 6, take a break. This is one of the strategies that I fell short on, and many high achieving professionals fall short on taking a break. I would work, 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 work. My past employers, they definitely got their money's worth out of me. You could always find me at my desk in my office, just constantly working, to the point where I would miss lunch some days and go to lunch at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I was always known as the person who took an extremely late lunch, almost dinner time. But yeah, you must take a break. You have to have some you time. You must set aside time if you're the type of person as I am, and still, I have to pull myself away from work. and um, and when you're an entrepreneur, own your own business, it gets a little difficult to carve out those times in a day. But you must set aside some time, or otherwise you'll be no good to anyone, including yourself and in your business. So, eliminating stress has much to do with how well you take care of yourself too. The best way to control your time and be more productive is to make sure that you're eliminating stress from yourself. So, are you taking the time out of your day to get away from your desk, or go for a walk, or meditate? Make sure you're eating well balanced meals. You know, what that work life balance. Sometimes you hear that in business. However, I found that most companies are not going to help you find that work life balance. You have to find it for yourself. So yeah, you have to implement certain things in your habit, your routine, to make sure that you're being good to you. So if pretty much I'm no good to anyone if I don't give my mind time to rest and reset. It's vital that you have those quiet times. I did a post yesterday. How often do you get quiet and listen? I I recommend some form of meditation where you get quiet. Take that break from just life and just be. Be in the moment. Allow yourself 15 to 20 minutes to do nothing. Nothing at all. Just not it's hard to not think when you're just sitting and being quiet. It takes some work, but just sit there quiet and clear your mind. When I tell you 15 to 20 minutes of doing that, you reboot and you become energized. If you can take a nap during the day, I also recommend doing that. That's even better if you can take a nap. And I'm not talking about hours, just half hour, 45 minutes, a power nap. I know not everyone can take a nap in the middle of the day, but you can just go sit in your car if you can, or find a quiet place in your home and relax. But you must take some type of break every day, daily. Just find that time. And yeah, so if you apply these 6 strategies, you will definitely reduce stress and start managing your time better. But you have to be specific about implementing at least one of these strategies, and you have to be consistent. If you truly are looking to start controlling your time and taking back control of your time, it truly is important to find ways. Well, these strategies are extremely helpful to reduce stress. Um, the feeling of accomplishment is great, and being able to have a stress-free day is important, you know, and you are better and you're more productive, more efficient to yourself, the environment, your mental state. You hear so much about the mental health issues that's going on now. It's just so important, um, for those who are in different positions in life. And you don't even have to have a stressful job. People are going through so many different things in their own life. What you may find stressful, someone else may not, and vice versa. But maintaining your mental health, taking on these 6 strategies, like I said, one at a time, find which one works for you and implement them. Implement them so you can be the best you possible. All right. So I hope that these will help you, definitely share, like, comment, and yeah, if you need to reach out to me, I'm here. And take back control of your day. Take care. Enjoy your day. Bye.